When you're working on a WordPress site, your files live on a server and they're live. You can work with a program like MAMP, a local virtual installation of a server, but it's not really editing the real files as they're going to appear online. So at some point, you do have to have access to the files on your server. You need to make meaningful changes to the style sheet and maybe some of the other PHP files. This movie is going to show you another way to establish a workflow that's going to make that transition a little bit easier. I am at pennyaguilera.com. I have a subdirectory called Lancer, and inside of that I have a WordPress installation. This is a site that I'm developing for the La Follette High School 50th anniversary celebration. I'm at the point where I need to start making some changes, and I've already made a change throwing an image in the background of the body tag. And in a previous movie, I did that using just really simple basic word processing and FTP programs. I used Phrase, which is the kind of free text editing program that we have at Madison College, and I also used Fetch, very basic FTP program. My personal preference, however, is to work with Dreamweaver. I may have mentioned in class that I love Dreamweaver's code hinting. I love the interface, has a lot of helpful features, including a built-in FTP program. So the beauty of Dreamweaver is that you can make your changes, save, and upload right from the same window. You don't really have to do a lot of back and forth, going out to your desktop, some of the things that felt a little bit awkward in the more manual process. There is some trickiness in the beginning to set Dreamweaver up because you need to define a site. So I want to just remind you of your file structure and where things live, possibly within your domain and your server space. So I've already said that I have my installation in this folder, subdirectory rather, called Lancer. So I'm logged into my FTP. You could also see the structure of your files and where they live in GoDaddy as well. I just happen to have the FTP open from the previous movie. So in Lancer, this is my WordPress installation, but these really aren't the files that I need to edit. The files that you need to edit live within the theme. So when I go out into WP Content, into Themes, now I'm going to target the theme itself. I'm not using a child theme for this particular movie, so I'm moving right into 2011, which is the theme attached to this particular database. So this is where the files reside that I will ultimately need to edit. Here's style.css. I might at some point want to play around with the functions, the header, the sidebar. So they're all in here inside the theme. So that's important for you to remember when you're setting up Dreamweaver. I'm going to head over to Dreamweaver now, and I need to define a site. So I will move right to the Site menu and create a new site. The first thing Dreamweaver will ask you to do in the site choice of navigation is give your site a name. This is just a little nickname for you to identify it if you have several sites being developed at the same time. I need to tell Dreamweaver where the local files reside. So local site folder. I already have a folder called Lancer, and I'm going to use that for this project. So I will choose that. So this is the local side, my nickname, where my local files reside. Now I need to establish where the server is and where the live files live online. So I've moved into the servers category, and I need to hit the plus sign to add a new server. What's your server name? This is actually just a nickname, again, that you can identify. So Lancer server just makes sense for my situation. I'm going to connect using FTP. The FTP address is actually your domain name. So www.pennyaguileradesign.com. Username And these, of course, are specific to you. This is my username, my password. Okay, at this point, I'm going to test just to make sure I have that right. So I will go ahead and test. Oh, okay. I was pretty sure that I probably had a typo in my password. Let me give that one more try. Sorry about that. Test again. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for, that Adobe Dreamweaver, I'm using CS 5.5. Any version of Dreamweaver will work for what we're doing here. Connected to your web server successfully. Okay, but I'm just at the kind of main directory level. Remember, I need to drill into that really specific folder. So root directory, I need to first go into the Lancer directory. From there, I need to go into WP-content. From there, I'm going into themes, into 2011. That's it. That's the 2011 is the theme where my files reside, which is in the themes folder, which is in WP content, and so on and so on. So you really need to set up this very specific path to the files that you want to get at. And once again, just so that in case I've hit a typo, I'm going to test so that, yes, Dreamweaver has successfully accessed that set of files. Okay, and I can save that. This is a remote. Possible that you just have something set up as a testing server, but that is not our situation. I can go ahead and hit save. And I have some keychain issues, some things, just ignore that. I will hit allow. Okay. This is my file menu. Right now it's only showing my local folders and files. I'm going to choose to hit the icon that says expand to show local and remote sites. Over here on the left, these will be the files from the server at GoDaddy, and over on the right, these are my local files. I'm going to choose the icon connects to remote host. Just to kind of plug that in, make sure I have access to those files, and here they are. What I don't have over here in my local files is the style sheet itself, and that's primarily the document that I'm going to be changing the most. So I will highlight that, and I'm going to download using the get files from Lancer server. That will take this from the server at GoDaddy and make a copy and move it into my local files. Get dependent files. Nope, this is just a style sheet. I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now here's the style sheet that I can work with locally, and I will do that. I'll open that up. I like working in Dreamweaver, as I mentioned, because of the code hinting. It's still the style sheet. Just skinny this up a little bit. So now your workflow might look something like this. I'm still in Firefox. I'm still going to take advantage of the Firebug. Perhaps I want to change the color, the font, something about these headings. I'll use my icon, click an element to identify what that is. Okay, so it might be this particular entry title. Let's just turn, yep, sure enough, this is the rule that I want to target. It's telling me then that it's on line 730. So moving back over to Dreamweaver into my style sheet, line 730, gone past it. A little bit higher. Here we go. Okay, so perhaps I'll just change a color. I'll save that. Here I am in the files portion of Dreamweaver. Here's the file that I just saved, style.css. You can upload, put files to Lancer server. Put dependent files? No. Always say no. We've taken an edited file and we've uploaded it into the live server. So when we come back out to our browser and hit refresh, we will now see that change in color taking place. So for me, even though setting up the defined site, establishing the path to the server, that might seem a little tricky, it's actually very easy now. The style sheet is here. I'll make another change to that. Let's say the font. Here's what I love about Dreamweaver. Start typing. It helps me out by giving me some ideas of what I'm thinking about. Font size equals 50. We'll make it a very big headline. Save that. Come back over to the Files window. Style.css is already highlighted. Hit the up arrow to upload. And there it is. I'll come back, preview, refresh my browser, and hopefully see my change, and there it is. So Dreamweaver is just one way that you might want to establish to get that workflow going so that you can edit your files on your own computer, but ultimately you need to save those changes and upload them to the server.